Hi, we're the Frobrick family. I'm Beverly.
I'm Eric.
We have 5 children. Emily is 11.
Emmett is 9.
Emma Jo is 7.
Emerson is 4.
And Ember is 1.5. We also have my mother, Barbara, living with us temporarily. She came to live with us after my dad passed away last year. It's hard.
It's tough losing a family member.
Help me! I said okay!
There's no respect in this house. Do not hit me. Our kids fight constantly.
Yeah.
No hit. Hitting is a pretty big problem.
Ow!
Pinching. Ow! Any kind of bodily harm. Do not put your hands on me. Emerson won't think twice about hitting me.
I've got my work cut out here, I can tell you that much.
You're stupid, Mommy!
Discipline is something we definitely need to work on. I used to spank my kids, but I've been trying not to because obviously it wasn't working. Go, straight up to your room. You can wait till Daddy gets back. Go.
I have a much shorter fuse than Beverly does.
Get off me!
Ooh.
Yes, I will go to the spanking level. But I have to be mean and give you spankings for you to listen,
And he says-
that's what I have to do. Now I'm getting a spoon.
Spoon?
Come out of bed. We got it.
What is this father doing?
I really don't want him to spank my kids, but he does.
I guess I don't give too much benefit of a doubt. Threaten hot sauce.
Oh, I'm not having that. I'm gonna have to go in and talk to this father, I tell you that much.
Homework is always a big issue.
Give me the rest of the time.
Emmett argues about reading and studying. I want you to finish the book and stop
And I
raising your
want
eyebrows.
to.
We get to a breaking point. I just give up. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Fine. I'm done.
Everybody's throwing in the towel and tempers are taking over.
There are days that I go to bed and think, I wonder what it would be like not having 5 kids and how much easier it would be. Get off my car!
I don't know how in the world to get the respect.
I said I don't like you.
Supernanny, our family is in utter chaos.
We're just falling apart, and we need you to glue us back together.
Respect needs to go back into your house. I'll see you soon. Hello.
Hello, Super Nanny. We're so glad you're here. I was excited to know that, okay, now we can get started on getting our lives back.
Eric, how are you?
Hi. Very well, thank you. Hi, Emma. Pleased to meet you. I'm Jojo. Hi, Emmett. Nice to meet you. And what's your name?
Emerson.
Emerson. Pleased to meet you, Emerson. Hi, Emma. That works. Hi. That'll do. Hi, Emily. How you doing? I want you to do what you would normally do so that I'm able to observe. Given what I'd just seen in the taxi, I was expecting chaos. But as the family sat down for lunch, I saw a different picture.
Can I try some of that, please?
Thank you for eating your carrots and not giving me a hard time. Didn't I ask you before not to ride on that?
Oh, please.
No, it'll break. I'm pretty impressed with how you're putting the game away.
I didn't know really what was going on here. Everyone was acting so polite. Oh, it's perfect family. I think I'll just go, shall I?
Please don't.
You wouldn't know, would you?
You would not know.
It was very obvious that everyone was on their best behaviour because of me. And so when the kids went outside to play, I thought I'd get from them what a normal day is like.
We tackle each other a lot and that stuff. Mouthing off and spitting.
How does your mum discipline you?
She doesn't really discipline. My dad will discipline us very badly.
And what do you mean when you say discipline?
Spank us. Drag us by our And he'll follow us up the stairs with a spoon, and when we get up there, smack us. And he'll, pull our ear and give us hot sauce.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit worrying to hear kids talk about their dad's harsh discipline in such a casual way, but I wonder if he's gonna act like that in front of me. A little later, Emerson started to kick off, and the first crack started to appear.
I can break it.
Do not break that.
I can.
Do
So
not.
what's gonna happen if you do that? Are
Do
you
not
gonna...
break a brain.
Ow, don't kick me.
That's what you get.
Hey, time out.
I'm coming!
Quit your screaming. Well, what comes next?
Hot sauce.
You want hot sauce?
No.
Okay, then. And that's not very nice.
Don't look at me!
Can you apologize to Nanny Joe and apologize to Mommy for your behavior?
No.
Then we're gonna stay in timeout for a while.
And even though Dad was holding it down, my gut instinct was telling me that Dad was acting different than what he'd normally do.
Couple minutes and then we'll try this again, okay? I probably held back a little bit where I normally wouldn't have. If Joe was not there, he probably would have gotten hot sauce. All right, are you ready to come out of timeout, mister?
Yes.
All right. So what do we have to do?
I don't want to apologize.
All right.
Emerson never did apologise to me, but as far as Dad was concerned, timeout was over. I think that if I hadn't have been there, the hot sauce or the wooden spoon would have come out. Later on in the afternoon, I had a chance to meet Beverly's mum, Barbara, who has been living with the family for over a year now since her husband passed away. And I actually got to hear her take on the family.
Most of the time it's chaos. They're very, very active children.
You'll help out here and there.
I help out.
But are they dependent on you?
No. I feel my daughter's very controlling. She feels so put together, don't tell me what to do. Beverly has major control issues. If she doesn't orchestrate everything herself, she can get snippy.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
And shortly after, I got to see exactly what Barbara was talking about.
Go get your homework. Don't make faces at me, just go get it.
It was time for Emmett to do his homework. I could see that tension was building up.
Teacher said you need to study your social studies every night. And I know we've talked about this because I've told you that you need to bring your hello? Look at me. I'm talking to you. Homework is a big issue in our house. Homework is a constant battle. This is a huge test coming up.
I know everything, though.
Stop crying. Stop crying. You don't need to cry. You just need to take a little responsibility. Listen to me. I'm not yelling at you. Look at me. Why don't you take a break, go up in your room, and do a little bit of reading? Read a chapter in your book. I mean, these are things you have to do. You have to do these things. Can you please read a chapter while you're up there?
No.
So what happens with the homework?
It'll get done eventually with a fight.
What a cop-out. Mum told Emmett to go up into his room because she didn't want to deal with this situation, and so she throws in the towel, and then nothing is now going to get achieved. What made you cry?
I was frustrated, and she was just making it more frustrated when she was raising her voice at me. I don't like it when people raise their voices.
And that made you upset because Mum started getting cross.
Obviously, there's a lot of frustration going on in this house. I mean, there's parental issues to deal with, and also the loss of a family member. It can be overwhelming.
Hey, it's been a tough year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I've had experience myself with losing a parent. It's a loss that totally has you feeling overwhelmed and out of control.
I don't know, I just feel like my whole life is spiraling out of control. Not my whole life, but my family.
So you're very uncomfortable with not having control.
I am a control freak.
Do you think that's been heightened by, obviously, the impact of
Possibly.
losing your father?
Sorry.
Don't be.
I didn't even get to stay with my family. The day after his funeral, we left. Life went on.
What support did you have with respects to dealing with your bereavement?
Here?
Yeah.
None.
How did it affect the kids?
My kids were pretty close with him. Even though we lived so far away.
When you lose a family member and you haven't had the time that you so need to be able to heal, those overwhelming feelings can interfere in the running of a home. But the more that she tries to control that situation, the more that she realizes actually she has no control at all. There really is a lot that needs to be addressed here. And I really do hope that these parents are very open and willing to listen to what I have to say.
I saw so much in the taxi cab. The biggest thing here is discipline. You both need to step up and take control and have that authority when necessary through an action of consequences that allow them to think about their behaviour. Not corporal punishment. What is the message that you're trying to convey to the children? I'm just going to grab them by their ear And you know what? I'm gonna hurt them and pinch them and lead them up the stairs by their ear roll so that it hurts. And you know what? When they say something that I don't appreciate, I'll just go and put hot sauce on their mouth so that it burns their tongue. When I get really, really angry, I'll just give them a smack. How do you justify doing what you do?
It's the only thing that seems to work for me.
That seems to work. Does it?
Probably not very effective.
Hot sauce does not teach children how to behave. What do we do when Emmett turns around and says, ha, you put a dab and it doesn't hurt, doesn't burn anymore? What are you gonna do? Put the whole pot in his mouth? What are you gonna do when Emma Jo laughs at you because you spanked her and then she looks at you and says, doesn't hurt? Smack her harder? What you going to do when your children become old enough to smack you back? Nobody's thinking about that.
I am now.
What do you want, Eric?
Peace, patience.
What do you think will allow you to have more patience?
If there's an effective means of discipline that I don't have to go to the extreme, I certainly don't want to have to hit them.
How would you feel as a father?
I'd be proud of myself. I'm doing a good job.
To actually sit here as a father and not feel proud of how you're parenting, it's not a good place to be. Let's talk about homework. You're not listening to Emmett. You've spent a lot of time arguing and not resolving. When Emmett turns round through his emotion and says, I'm so frustrated, and he starts to cry, I don't want to hear it right now. I don't want to hear this right now. But I'm sure you must be really frustrated right now. And you know what? I can see you're really upset. Work with me here together. Let's look at how we can make this enjoyable. Because right now, it's not working.
It's definitely not.
Beverly, let's talk about your control.
Well, I like things done my way.
Give me what areas?
I like my clothes folded a certain way. Silverware drawer being a certain way, my closets being set up a certain way.
It shows you wanting to control certain areas because everything else is out of control. And it's been heightened by the loss of your father.
I do try to just let go, but it's hard.
It has been a year since you lost your beloved father, Beverly, and I want to talk about that. I don't believe that there's been an opportunity really for you guys to really understand that you are grieving, that you are going through bereavement, that the whole family are hurting in their own individual way.
I try to let my kids talk about it, but not ever going through this before. I don't know how to deal with it.
What I would love to be able to do is to help you all to feel very comfortable with being able to at least mention Grandpa, to start grieving and bereaving and going through the stages of that.
Sounds scary.
It is, because the emotions make you feel like they could kill you. But I'm still here. They don't.
Yeah.
We're gonna knuckle down and get some hard work done. Is that something we both want?
I want it.
I think we need it.
Do need it.
Meeting with Joe was an eye-opener. A lot of things you kind of don't think about when you're doing them. I'm ready to make some changes.
Respect in this house really doesn't exist. And Dad's approach to discipline leaves a lot to be desired.
Now I'm getting a spoon.
Let's all take a seat.
Things do need to change. And what I want to do is work with this family in making sure that each member know how they behave and that they're accountable.
Back a long, long time ago in London, you would go to a park and you would stand on your soapbox and you would basically talk about anything, okay? This soapbox is going to be used for a different purpose. We get a chance to stand up on the soapbox and talk about the things that we feel we need to be better at doing, okay? So, you're on the soapbox. Emma Jo.
Listening. Getting better with my brother and sister, not fighting.
Ah, that's very good.
One by one, they all went up on the soapbox and spoke about the things that they feel they need to work on.
Stupid.
Saying stupid.
Oh, saying stupid.
And spitting at people.
And spitting at people. Yeah, I agree.
No, Emmett.
All right, Emmett.
Respect.
Respect. Fair enough.
These kids know, they're really smart. They know what they shouldn't be doing. By saying it out loud, you're actually showing the rest of the family that you're aware of the things that you do that are wrong.
Arguing, listening, temper.
I was very proud of my kids that they were able to stand up there and talk about the things that they could work on.
Amber, do you have anything to say up there? Yeah, what do you have to say?
Buy a hat.
That's right.
But the kids aren't the only ones who have to be accountable for their own behaviour.
I will try not to be controlling, respect. I think that kind of covers all of it.
Okay, Daddy, up you get.
I need to have more patience. I need to not be spanking anymore. Using the spoon, using the belt, pulling ears. And hot sauce, too.
Emma Jo, she jumped up and down. She was like, yes, no more smacking.
No more.
I felt good about that because when he does that spanking and hot sauce, it really does hurt.
Okay, thank you, Daddy, okay?
Getting up there in front of the family, it's like everybody heard you say it, so now you gotta carry through. The hard part is following through now.
Mum and Dad have agreed not to use hot sauce and wooden spoons, so now what I really need to do is to teach them a proper timeout.
First thing you want to do is to give your child a warning. Explain why he's sitting in timeout. And you set the timer for 1 minute per their age. Are we comfortable
Yes.
with the steps?
And when Emerson kicked off at dinner time, it gave Mum and Dad the opportunity to put their knowledge to the test.
Right now.
Look at me, look at me, look at me.
I don't have to listen to you if you be mean.
If you leave this table, you will go in timeout. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so climb up in your chair, please. Come on.
No talking.
Mommy is putting you in timeout for not listening.
For how much minutes?
4 minutes.
Say nothing. No talking.
I don't like you anymore.
He tried everything he could to get our attention. It was definitely a challenge.
Stop it!
Normally, when I'd put him in timeout, we would answer him and then let him out. This time, we ignored him.
Eric, I would say you follow through with it and you carry on serving dinner because they need to see that you're working on the same page when it comes to discipline. You're both doing it together.
So I took over, put Emerson back in timeout. He wasn't very happy with that.
Dad, if you come close to me, I'll kick your...
Calling me quite an array of names,
Daddy, you're an idiot!
screaming, yelling.
Daddy!
He was definitely pushing the buttons.
After trying everything to test his parents, Emerson did sit there for 4 minutes. But the battle wasn't over yet.
You were put in timeout.
I'm not listening.
Are you ready to apologize?
No.
All right, you're going to walk away, Dad. He's not apologising, so you're going to walk away. This is about you learning to be composed because this is a little boy that is out of control and you do not need to go there. It makes you feel remorseful. You don't have to be in that place.
Dad just remained calm and patient, and a few minutes later, it paid off.
Are you ready to apologize now?
Yes.
Listen, there'll be no more fresh voices
Okay.
and naughty behavior, or you're gonna go right back into timeout.
Okay.
All right. Tonight's outcome, without hot sauce or the hot sauce threat or the spanking threat, definitely makes me feel a lot better.
The next day, I wanted to address Emmett's homework. This has created a lot of stress for this family because Beverly always wants to dictate how it's done.
This is a huge test coming up.
No.
Stop crying. Stop crying.
So what I'm going to give them is some useful tips for homework so that it's less stressful.
The first one is let him decide. Let Emmett decide what homework he's going to do first. The second is to listen and then to respond. Number 3, look for solutions and not for arguments. Number 4, encourage effort.
When you see that you're doing very well and that's noticed, how does that make you feel?
Good.
Of course. And number 5, be there if needed, if not, step back. I'd love to put this into practice now, and let's do some homework.
I think Emmett liked the idea of being able to take control back of his homework instead of me telling him what to do, when to do, and how to do it.
It's gonna be hard.
Okay.
Wanna do
All right.
this one first.
All right, call me if you need me.
Emmett completed his math assignment, no fuss at all. But things started to go downhill when he asked Mum to check his work.
It looks good. You might want to review this one.
Daddy always says to check it to use a calculator.
No, do not use a calculator, because if you're using a calculator, it's not really teaching you.
I know, I'm not gonna correct it.
But what I'm saying is if you use a calculator, you're not using your head to figure it out, and then you're not learning.
But I already did.
And you're not exercising your brain.
I suspected before long that this would turn into a classic fight between Mum and Emmett. And I wanted to remind her that this is about looking for solutions, not an argument.
It takes 2 people to argue. And if it keeps going over and over again, you have to make that decision when to cut the conversation. Hey, we've discussed this already. We're not going to go round in circles, and the conversation's over.
Instead, I suggested that Mum help him work through the problem.
Be there if needed. If not, step back. You're needed for this one.
Yeah, that's 10. Same thing as yours.
Emmett's always going to have that argumentative personality, and I just need to learn how to cope with it and stop it when it turns into an argument.
Add that one, 8.
Okay, and you know what? You're right.
You know what's fabulous about this?
What?
So actually he came over and he worked through it, and we have a solution and not argument. So well done, the pair of you, because that's what it's all about.
High five, Emmett.
After recently losing her dad, Beverly just feels like she's got no control over anything, so she's trying to control absolutely everything, and it's just making matters worse. So today, I'm really going to work on that issue with her.
What are the things that you know as a mother your kids are old enough to do, but you control it because of the, I've got to have the obsessiveness of it looking just right, being just so.
Laundry, because if it's not folded the right way, it bothers me. I don't like anybody loading my dishwasher. Putting my groceries away, some cleaning, a lot of cleaning, setting the table, cooking.
Mum has an endless catalogue of tasks that nobody is allowed to do but herself. No wonder she's feeling overwhelmed.
Packing.
She won't let us pack our own stuff. Vacuum.
You're obsessive about particular things.
Yeah. She had me make a list of different things that I feel like I need control over, and it really made me realize how controlling I am.
I'll have you come into my space, and then we'll practically talk about this situation.
Mum needs to let go and delegate so that when the bigger issues come up, she has the energy to be able to deal with them. But as we know, letting go isn't always that easy.
We've got laundry, and we've got towels, haven't we? What else we got there? Cooking, which is important. What else? Setting the table. We've got to set the table. And then we've got the vacuuming, and that's a big problem as well. Because you know what? When you have so much control over things that are not necessary, it creates this stress and the inability for your children to do the things that allow them to grow and have independence and become more self-sufficient.
I think Joe wanted me to see you can't carry everything. It's impossible. You can't fit that much on your shoulders.
You've got to learn to let go with your family and with yourself. So let go. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can, because I'm going to teach you how to let go and be happier.
Oh, no!
It's okay. It's okay. Emma! Emma! Come here, come here. Come here.
Really, that showed me the seriousness of this situation when your children are so scared that you just may drop something on the floor.
What happens here if Mummy drops the eggs? What happens?
It'll just be a mess and we'll clean it up. And I'll let go. Here's cooking.
Want to help Mummy cook? You like it, right? Exactly. So Mummy have to let go of that.
Letting go was really hard, but it was definitely a relief.
Yay! Yay!
Do you understand what I'm saying? Huh? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a big deal. You know what? When you let go, life gets easier. because there are certain things that you need to accept and certain things that allow everybody else to grow in a family.
This is still a work in progress for Mum, but what's going to be important is that the kids step up now and they help her with that endless list. So I'm going to introduce a chore system.
Okay, today's specials. I have this board up here because this is all about delegating. So today's specials will be what you write down on this board every day so that these kids can at least do one thing that they'll get done as a responsibility in the home.
It could change every day?
Yeah, every day.
Does rub mommy's feet count?
That could be for Eric.
I love the specials board. This is a way for me to let go, and allowing them to have the opportunity to do these things is great. Love it.
Mum did a really great job delegating the chores, so hopefully this will make her feel a lot better because there'll be less stress.
Okay, everybody onto the picnic rugs.
Before I leave, I have one last tool for this family. It's been incredibly difficult for them to heal from losing Grandpa. This tool will allow them to actually start talking about the good times.
This treasure chest is a very important one. We are going to fill this treasure chest with special things that remind us of Grandpa. Things that you feel will be important for everybody to share as a family. Notes and photos and little memorabilia of things you did, because it is important for the kids to be able to talk about Grandpa. And hey, I'm going to say for the adults as well.
I got very emotional because we don't really talk about my husband, Victor. I think that's very important for these kids and for Beverly.
So the additional stuff that I have in this treasure chest is a folder of artwork, which allows our younger one, Emerson, to be able to draw pictures for Grandpa. And I have here, for Emma Jo and Emmett and Emily, your own thought pads. So when you're thinking of Grandpa, I want you to be able to put it into your thought pads.
I really like the treasure chest because I can share how I feel about my grandfather passing away. I'm happy that we got notebooks to write in about Poppy.
And last but not least, I wanted to give you all one of your own pads as well.
I like the treasure chest because it will be full of treasures, memories that we have of my dad.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, you're welcome. I'm going for several days, but I'll be back.
Not having Joe around for the next few days is going to be a challenge. That's going to be hard.
Letting go, you've done really well. So continue working on that. Right, remember the steps of timeout. Voice, firm, follow through.
I am concerned that we might slip a little bit and kind of go back to some of the old ways of things, especially if we get buttons pushed.
Hang in there.
Will do, thank you.
Bye-bye.
The Frobricks have come a long way. We've got Dad dealing with his temper, so let's hope that the hot sauce and the wooden spoons stay where they belong. And Mum's dealing with her controlling issues. But hey, a couple of days with me gone, let's see how they do. When I first arrived, the Frobricks were dealing with some serious issues. Dad had a very severe temper, hot sauce and wooden spoons.
I have to be mean and give you spankings for you to listen, then that's what I have to do.
And Mum just needed to control entirely everything.
So let go.
I just hope that they haven't slipped back into their old ways whilst I've been gone.
The first one we're going to take a look at is Mum letting go. Let's see how well you did.
Okay, we're going to let this cook, but we don't want it to boil, so we have to keep stirring it, okay?
I want to stir.
Okay, just be super, super careful because it's super, super hot. Okay, dump it in. Good job.
How nice to see kids in the kitchen and you're stirring away and doing your thing. You're becoming more consciously aware of how you're behaving. It's tough, right? But you can do it.
It was tough, but I did it.
It's lovely.
Got it? You want me to show you how to hold it so you can get it really good? Here, can I help you? Can I show you how? Okay. You can brush it off to the side, too, so it falls in the dirt. All right, let's put the mat back. Can you get the 2 steps? I think I might have misjudged that job for her. She struggled a little with the broom and moving the mat.
Okay, so let go of it, all right? Because, you know, imagine
me asking you to do something and then hovering over you while you're emptying the drawers, okay?
Right.
You can have a look and see how well they've done afterwards. So they start to learn that when it's not done, and if they do get lazy in between, that they're going to have to go back and do it a second time. So get it done the first time right.
Right.
Okay, let's take a look at homework.
Come here, Emmett. You and I are gonna go over this. Because Miss Ussery wants you to. Miss Ussery thinks you know this material, and she just wants to make sure that it's not the excitement of everything. Okay. If you want to pull yourself together and go over this with me, then we can talk. But right now,
My test!
it is your test.
And you can't touch it!
Give me your test, please.
My test.
I've already looked at it.
Okay, I don't care what I got on the freaking test. It's a freaking test. Does it really matter about a freaking test?
He just doesn't stop.
We know that Emmett is combative. We know that he'll argue. So it's about your behaviour changing. One of you needs to be able to say, I'm feeling really angry right now. We'll come back to this in half an hour. And it's not going to be Emmett. So you have to learn to step back.
Right.
Just take a breather.
Okay.
Let's take a look at timeouts.
Drink my milk.
But you don't have to eat what's on your plate. You just have to drink your milk. Study for your science. Ah!
You cannot hit your grandma. Come on, right here.
Stop.
Sit.
No.
All right, then stand. Right there.
Eric, when that little son of yours smacked his grandmother in the face, you should have gone straight in. Any more of this behaviour, and you are going in timeout. And trust me, you're going to be in trouble.
So at that point, I didn't know if I thought Grandma should be the one to discipline him.
Yeah, but these are your kids behaving that way to Grandma. When you saw that Barbara was in that little pickle, you should have gone straight in there.
Can I get out now? Can I get out now? I'm finished. I'm ready to apologize.
Are you ready to apologize to Grandma?
You are? Okay. The whole thing was a shambles. He actually dictated when he would say sorry. No, you're in charge of discipline, full stop. You need to learn the steps properly. And I think it would be nice if Barbara can execute those steps as well. Treasure chest.
We're gonna go in and put some stuff in Poppy's box. I have some special stuff that I want to put in here.
Is that mine?
Do you know who bought it?
Poppy.
He went out the day you were born and bought this.
Mommy, I have a picture.
You want to put that in there?
Yeah.
Okay, we can put that in there.
I love my puppy. He played lots of games with me. He's there.
You want to put that in the box? I think that's a very good treasure.
That's absolutely beautiful. So needed, so healing for all of you. It's allowing you all just to embrace the place that you're in right now and take each day as it comes, because that's all you can do. So look, we're not out of the woods because we do have some work to do. We certainly do need to work on discipline. That's necessary. We want you to move forward. So on that note, we'll get busy doing some work. Okay, thank you. The loss of Grandpa impacted the whole of this family, and that's why it was important to bring in the treasure chest. But Beverly never had the chance to be able to just spend time with her family back in New York, grieving for the loss of her father. It's very hard to explain to somebody what it feels like to lose your parent.
Oh, yeah.
It's very hard. It was incredibly important for me and my brother to be there for each other.
Right.
Because there's nobody else that feels the same way as you,
Right.
as your sibling.
Right.
But I guess right now it's quite difficult for you on the phone to talk about how you're feeling.
It's hard.
You can't get a hug
Yeah.
on the phone.
Right. It's not the same. Mm-mm.
And so what I wanted to do for you was to make sure that tonight you fly out to New York and you actually go and spend time with your brother.
Really?
You're going to do everything that you weren't given the opportunity to do because you had to come home and have 5 kids. I wanted to give you this.
Thank you. When Joe told me I was going to New York, I was overwhelmed. It's going to be an emotional trip for me, but it is important because I really need to spend time with my brother. I just need time for me.
You need to. You need to go away. You need to be able to do that. Hey, you gotta take care of you and go and do what you need to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Overall, I think she's really excited that she's got this opportunity, and I think it will do her the world of good, it really will. And this will really allow her to come back to her family, ready to deal with whatever comes up with regards to the kids.
Got it?
Bye.
Saying goodbye to Joe is hard. She's a very caring person.
Be a good girl. I love you.
Woman's got it going on. She's my new hero. I'm definitely gonna miss Joe.
With Mum back in New York, I realised that Dad and Grandma still need more work on discipline. Bringing them together so they could both practice was just incredibly important.
The timeout steps. Number 1, warning. Number 2, when you take them to the timeout, you explain why they're in timeout. Number 3, you walk away. Number 4, you go back and you explain for the second time. 5, sorries. 6, it's no grudge. We just move on to the next thing that we're doing or go back to what we were doing first and foremost. Okay?
Now the steps are covered, what I want to do is teach Dad and Grandma the correct tone so that when they give a discipline, the kids know that they mean business.
Watching Emerson with the pair of you, he feels that he can take liberties and behave the way he does. You take him by the hand, okay? You bring him in front of you. That is unacceptable. There will be none of that behaviour. If I see any more of this nonsense, you're going straight into timeout. Let's just practice tone.
Stop that behavior right now, or you're gonna go into timeout.
Oh, look at you. That's what I'm talking about.
She did really well.
When Joe showed me the steps and worked through the steps with me, that made me feel much more confident. I think it's great.
Okay, let's hit it, Eric.
Stop that behavior right now or you'll be going into timeout.
Okay, love it. You've got to be able to switch on this without the anger fueling it behind. You've got to be able to switch over. As soon as you see that behavior, switch.
She lets you know when you screwed up and what you need to focus on.
By the time you're angry, guess what? The hand's coming out as well, and the spoon's coming out, and the sauce is coming. That's no good.
It's good news when any family decide to recognise what effective discipline is and the importance of it and then really apply in their own homes.
Hey, I think we're good here. You did it extremely well. Well, I'm going to leave you both. Hey!
I definitely feel that I've changed, definitely for the better.
Barbara.
Pleasure. The whole experience has been wonderful, and it's only going to have this family move forward in a more positive way.
Bye-bye.